Midrange, that's MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going to showcase MALPHITE in a deck that I consider to be pretty damn solid. If you unsubscribe, I get it. I understand. Enough is enough. You know, I won't blame you. Rock Solid is the name of the deck. It is a MALPHITE and Talia mid-range list build with landmark support, and I'm honestly very proud of this build. It wasn't really too hard for me to make, even though there were some things that I am really happy that I avoided. Like, for example, when you build a landmark deck, you're very inclined to include stuff like the one-drop landmark, which I forgot the name, the Ancient Preparations, right? But we're actually not playing that here. We have a very, very nice curve that enables us to have a mid-range list that is honestly very thick, that can take on aggressive decks and control decks as well. A deck that also can take on both Thresh, Nasus, and Lissandra, Trundle, Watcher, which have been considered to be two of the top tier decks in the meta, and could still remain at the top, especially after that atrocious balance patch. So, this deck does a lot of things well just because we got good stats, man. We got beefy units. We have the ability to spread out wide and get some tempo going on for us, and we got some very nasty attacks, and we utilize MALPHITE as our finisher. Throughout playtesting, it turns out that this card, like Unstoppable Force, is just insane. Like, this card is actually insane. It is ridiculous. Like, it does feel like you're playing Nautilus in a way, because the ability to just stun the opponent's entire board is absurd, right? And the fact that we have access to Ground Slam as well with this new expansion allows us to run a really, honestly, Target is just great now, man, because we have like really solid disruption. Combining Target and Shurima, we get aspects from Ionia, from both regions now, in Ground Slam and Rite of Negation, so we can counter board wipes, and we can stop attacks as well, while at the same time we can remove units, because we were doing 3 damage with this, and we can remove blockers potentially as we go for the late game finish. So let me explain a bit what some key components of this deck are. Like, for example, Desert Naturals is really important in this deck, because one of the things that you gotta take into account is you need to be able to level up MALPHITE, right? And leveling up MALPHITE is not the easiest thing, especially if you don't go all in with like landmarks. There's another potential approach with like countdown synergy, but I didn't really want to take that route because I want to preserve that for Thralls, right? Instead of MALPHITE. I feel like MALPHITE benefits more from a deck like this. I also want to build him around Yasuo, but that's something that I want to leave for a little bit later, because I still feel like the Zoe Yasuo deck that I uploaded is relatively recent, and it's going to end up being a little bit similar to that, even though it's going to be really, like, I'm really excited to build that one, but it's going to be a little bit harder for me to optimize and build properly, so I need a little bit more time. This deck, however, just feels really, really neat against pretty much everything in the meta. If you're running into a lot of burn, you can even tweak things a little bit and maybe run in some Solari Sunforgers or some Star Shapings, etc., etc. Like, that's the beautiful thing about Targon right now, is that you can really adapt the deck, and you can tech depending on what you're running into the most. I was running into a lot of Thresh Nasus and Watcher and stuff because people are going back to, you know, the roots, and this is what really worked for me. So, like I said, Desert Naturals is really good because it's going to allow us to generate some good tempo, and it does justify us playing a full set of Unraveled Earth. Unraveled Earth is a 3-mana burst speed spell that says summon 2 Roiling Sands. This is not a new card, but you barely seen it in Constructed probably, even though in this deck it actually works really well because it helps us progress Talia's level up by 40%. At burst speed. Also allows us to set up some landmarks at burst speed so that we can open attack with leveled up Talia and get the 3 rocks thrown at our opponents. And also, Unraveled Earth allows us to set up some nice combos with Desert Naturalist. We can play this. Keep in mind that you're spawning 2 Rolling Sands, so you're paying 3 mana, but you are advancing MALPHITE's level up by 4 stages, 1/3 of the total. So you're already getting benefit out of that, right? And by playing units like Rock Hopper and Blue Sentinel, we can also develop a body on the board while getting a 2-mana landmark as well. One when the unit dies, the other one upon summon. So back to the Unraveled Earth. With Desert Naturalist, we can destroy our own Roiling Sands. The second one, not the first one, in case the opponent has like a Vile Feast or anything that allows them to summon or spawn a unit at fast speed, we target the second Roiling Sands and we can convert that into a Grumpy Rockbear. So we have a 4-mana 2/4 that spawns a 5/4. And that is way above the curve, in case you're wondering. So that's what we're trying to do. We're also playing Earth Elemental. I said it for, I don't know if I made an emphasis on this, but I really thought this card was being very underrated. A lot of people were just completely downplaying it, which it didn't make much sense to me, because in a deck with vulnerables, you know, with Unraveled Earth and the likes of Rockhopper, we can get some weak units with Vulnerable and target them with our Thick Boy Earth Elemental, which can be easy to enable thanks to the fact that we're playing Unraveled Earth. As you see, the more you look at the deck, the more this card makes sense, because the ability to play 2 landmarks for 3 mana at burst speed helps out a lot for our later curve, and that includes the Earth Elemental. Once we've summoned 4 landmarks this game, you grant him +3 power. Something that's very important to note as well is that if you manage to enable the Earth Elemental, when you play the Salt Spire, the strongest ally will not be the Rock Bear that will spawn. It will be the Earth Elemental, which means he will grow from a 6/5 to an 8/7 with Overwhelm. And that could be truly overwhelm. I mean, I'm gonna stop it with the puns. I'm sorry. So, anyways, as I'm saying here, I have a full set of Shape Stone. Naturally, we're playing Chip, because one of the ideal things of this curve is we play Chip turn 1. He goes like Papa. Well, he only goes like Papa when you actually play his Papa, but you can imagine him saying Papa, because you're his Papa too. He's adorable, right? So you play Chip, and then you followed it up with Rockhopper. By playing Rockhopper, you spawn the Rolling Sands, and you make thick. You make Chip thick. There we go. And you're able to make whatever your opponent is going to play vulnerable, so that Chip can take it down. Because at turn 2, there are very few things that can trade into a 3/3, such as Chip. So Chip actually puts in the massive work in this deck, giving us some really solid board presence for just 1 mana, which is fantastic. Not much more to say about that. He's adorable. He's fantastic. He's absolutely perfect. We got Shapestone as well. Naturally, we're playing a bunch of landmarks, and this card is very good. It can help us push for lethal. It can also help us avoid certain variants of damage-based removal. We have a one-off of Ancient Hourglass and a one-off of Right Negation, like I mentioned prior, for some disruption with the opponent. We have a one-off of Spiral Stairs. I still don't know how to feel about this card. I really want to like it, but the countdown 3 is just horrendous, man. Like, this card takes forever to trigger. And even against control decks, or, you know, decks in which you want the buff, sometimes you just prefer like actually going for tempo instead of just setting this, right? Ideally, you play on turn 3, but if you have Unraveled Earth, a lot of times we do prioritize that. But I still like it as a one-up, because in theory it can be really strong, you know, with Salt Spire, with Talia, giving Talia Overwhelm, giving MALPHITE Overwhelm as well. Even though with MALPHITE is actually less important, because you're going to be working for the Unstoppable Force late game regardless. So Overwhelm doesn't really matter as much there, but I still do feel like running 1 is justified, and that could potentially be a nice target for Talia, because sometimes, because we're only running 2 copies of Salt Spire, we don't really have a great target for Talia. Most of the time, I find myself copying the Preservarium, which is a great target if you ask me, because it basically says Talia is leveled up Talia, which is a really good 5-drop, that draws you 2 cards. So that's pretty outstanding if you ask me. We have Triple Hush, which gives us the edge. I was thinking about Thresh. Gives us the edge against Nasus Thresh, specifically Nasus, and other decks that may run elusives, for example. We can use Hush to deny that. Hush can also work against Irelia decks, against like their 1-drop that can get super thick. You know, it's just a really, really good card. And this, alongside the stuns, just really gives us a solid defensive gameplay. And that's basically the deck list right there. Blue Sentinel, you know, is really neat because it's a 2/3 that against reactive decks, they don't really want to kill, right? And that feels really good. And because we have so many ways to proc Overwhelm Vulnerable towards the opponent's units, we can send Blue Sentinel into those units and have him trade with them, and then get the Crest of Insight and ramp into your boy. So very proud of this deck. It's worked out fantastically, and I think it's a great way to showcase MALPHITE on the channel for the first time, as I will be definitely, you know, getting back into this champion soon, and it'll likely be with the likes of Yasuo in a deck that'll take me a little bit more to build. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the deck. It's rock solid. God, Miguel, stop it. I'm gonna shut up. Enjoy the games. Leave a like. I do upload Legend of Runeterra videos on a daily basis, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy the games. And like I said, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, round 1 against Thresh Nasus. It's funny how people have like gone back to this deck effective immediately, considering how popular Irelia Azir is. Let's see how we match up against it. I do like the Rockhopper. I don't mind. Okay, so turn 2, turn 3. I mean, this is not a bad curve to have, really. But I do feel like Talia is a bit unnecessary. I like Desert Naturalist just because of the tempo she can provide us with onto one of the Unraveled Earths, if we time it correctly. And by timing it correctly, I mean that we wait until we play Desert Naturalist to play it. We got your boy Chip on our side, so we'll be fine.
The Emperor commands, the land obeys. Always forward.
I want to play Chip first because I'm expecting a Curse Keeper, which allows us to go Chip into Rock Hopper.
Oh, fresh blood. What a shame for you. You gotta see this new board.
Little busy now, Sammy. Later.
So now I can go Naturalist. We target the Roiling Sands on the right because if he has something like a Vile Feast, this is the one that will proc first. So you always want to target the last one. Just so because there are certain plays, like anything that can generate a unit at fast speed, like Vile Feast, what else? I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but yeah. Vile Feast. The one that comes to mind and the one that's relevant considering the matchup. So always target the one on the right. Oh. Alright. That's fine. Really? Eh. Bing, 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 bing.
My board.
No reason to play Talia now. I do want to play Talia next turn, I believe. There are several plays I could go for here. I could just... Like, honestly, I could go for maximum tempo. The problem is I don't trade well into this. And not trading well into that is a bit of a nuisance. So it makes me want to hold on to this. And set up the Talia play next turn. To duplicate this.
Wow, all this walking.
It's your boy Chip. We have triple Hush, which allow us to, you know, shut down Nasus as many times as we need. Well, we have 3 Hush, but we only have 1.
The desert by my side.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to get him.
Our sun rises.
That's fine. And now we play the South Spire. I could play Talia, but I think I'm more likely to play Rockhopper here.
Betrayal bears shame. Hope revived it.
Hey, watch out for the rock tubes, you maniac!
They better watch out for me. Wah!
Let's go in.
Only place to go is down.
Boom!
I am very strong like a mountain because I am a mountain.
Makes sense. Thank you for the valuable information, MALPHITE. But very interesting conversation here. We have the unstoppable force, so we can actually work for. I'm gonna go for it.
Stay still.
Bitch!
Everyone's a garden.
I mean, that's still only 3 blockers, so I'm still going for the attack here.
Give them a chance.
Because he has to block into these anyways, so I'm still getting like 8 damage on him. And now every round, when it's my attack token, I get the unstoppable force on him. That's a huge hit. It's a massive hit. Alright. I mean, Siphoning Strike is 5 mana. So I don't have to worry about Nasus hitting me this turn when I'm not, I don't have any mana to defend myself. And now, oh, double hush, beautiful. If you wait, block to me. He's gonna chill. Are you gonna kill Chip? I swear to God. Don't you fucking dare. Leave Chip alone. Oh. Oof. Oh, you motherfucker. Do I protect Chip?
This too shall end.
What could he have for 6 mana? That could let's just make sure we kill him. Wrecked.
Rock wins. Rock always wins.
Okay, MALPHITE. Don't tell him paper exists. Fuck yeah. Alright, let's see how we fare against Lissandra Trundle. A bit early for MALPHITE. I don't mind the Earth Elemental, honestly, but it may be a little bit early for that too. But I'm gonna keep it. Just because if I do find the... Oh, there's your boy! If I do find... like the Rolling Sands, not the Rolling Sands, that other card.
Here I am, there I am.
Go, Chip! I'm gonna play around Ice Shard.
They grew up so fast.
Chip! Wait, I'm clicking. Oh, there you are. Alright, so he eats rocks. Good to know.
buys me a new sail.
Nice. This is interesting. We do have the red negation, which is really important. I feel like I would like to play the Salt Spire, but I don't think it's also that. I don't think it's that necessary. Earth Elemental is also something I like, but then again, not until I played all the landmarks, right? I kind of just want to play you. That's a little bit awkward as well, though. This thing makes it awkward. I can push a lot of damage though with double this, but then it becomes awkward because I miss out on my next attack. I want to play the Salt Spire now because I want to have this available next turn. Also because if my opponent doesn't do anything, I'm not gonna attack until he plays Lissandra if he wants to. The moment he does that, I'll kill her. So I put him in a predicament here.
Ice to meet.
Let's think about this.
You got got.
I do like the Earth Elemental here. Next turn I'm gonna have 6 mana, which means 8 mana in total, which does allow me to play that and that. Could also, like, Spiral Stairs feels a little bit bad right now.
Hey there, big guy.
Bow to your king.
Could have Troll Chant amongst other things. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take the hit. I miss out on the buff, but it is what it is.
Up there in the mountains.
There are the mountains!
There's no such thing as Yetis.
Blue is like me, except very different in every way.
By boosting you.
Gonna catch the sky. I've carved meat bigger than you. Come back. They'll come for you.
I ramp up my opponent now, which allows me to do several things.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
One of them being this.
They are my people, and I am theirs.
Copying the
I will weave my
Preservarium will help me draw immediately, and then draw again. I can also just Brown Slam this away.
All things grow cold.
Yeah, I like the idea of just removing this blocker. Go with another Earth Elemental because investing 4 mana, another one of these big boys. So I can drag this away because Lissandra can block into one of these easily. But then again, if he has an Ice Shard, we're better off attacking with that. Yeah.
threading a needle. Throw another rock.
Foolish child. You cannot fight the cold. Relent. You cannot fight the cold. Relent.
Let the land do the work.
No Shapestone here. We still got this Red Negation, and now. And now we Red Negation. Got him, baby! Oh, beautiful! Beautiful!
What a
What
great
a
day.
great day! I love it! That was a great day when I win. Nice. Round 3. Alright, so Watcher again. I don't mind Unraveled. Okay, so if I play this on turn 4, it comes back. Yes, not as important. Doing this and this. I don't mind these two. Because I can Unraveled Earth into Desert Naturalist, and that's a pretty nice tempo play. Man, Earth Elemental MVP.
Targon is so big.
It's not worth it. No, I'll protect you. Don't worry, Chip. I'll protect.
If it was important, they should have built it better.
Now I'll play this with Natural. It's just a really strong tempo play.
Teeth big as tombstones.
Alright, Chip. Yes, Chip! You did great, Chip! Go, Chip! MVP!
The trolls are going to war!
I definitely want to play the Salt Spire. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Ground Slam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could ramp, go up to 20, but we'd hit him for a lot. We hit him for 10. I can always play MALPHITE next turn, but I don't have enough. Is it worth it to go for this? I mean, he's taking a lot of damage. I think it is. Is it? Let's think about this. This also stops him from playing Avalanche,
Yeah, why not?
which I'd rather he not do. Okay. Still a huge hit, and he's dropping down 8. I really wanted to play the Salt Spire on his turn so that it would trigger the next turn.
This'll take the chill off.
Still have, we could have another Withering Whale.
Watch out for the Nasus, you maniac!
Ah,
Hey, better watch out for me. Wah!
I want to get this.
Katina, you gotta see this new board.
Little busy now, Sammy. Later.
Now this triggering will buff my Earth Elemental. He doesn't have enough mana for Ruination, which means... Oh, we don't have enough for this either. Never mind. I think we still go for the attack, right? I mean, if he blocks, you could still... There's still a lot of things you could have, though. But it does force some blocks out of him.
He's up there.
They look angry.
Let's talk about your town.
Right now we represent lethal, so we need something else. A Vile Feast. Which keeps him at 6. I don't think I need to counter this at all. As we knock out Trundle.
Ice to me.
Alright. Keep the spell mana.
I'm gonna
By going for the Salt Spires here with Talia, I can avoid something like a Ruination. Okay.
What will you have? More than mortal. I am Iceborn. Ages pass.
Well, look who decided to join us. Mm-hmm. You are welcome.
Do I choose to play around Ruination? I don't think I can. I don't think we have the attack. It's especially with Lissandra, which basically makes my rocks hit for 3 only. I just don't think it happens. I think we drag that. Like, I think our best bet is to just stun his entire board and hit him. Like, oh, we just basically have to hope. We just have to like hope that he doesn't have Ruination. Ruination is the one thing that stops us here. Makes me wish I had double red negation instead of the hourglass.
There is MALPHITE. I am MALPHITE.
We have the unstoppable force, and that's what we gotta do. Realistically speaking, I should have left the Thrall because it stops him from playing a Spectral Matron. But if he plays a Spectral Matron, we win anyways because we. Yeah, if he doesn't have a ruin, like if he has a Ruination, he should play for it. You could search for an Ice Quake, but an Ice Quake doesn't stop us.
Feel the power of true ice.
Unstoppable force. You ain't got Ruination.
This is gonna be fun.
Yep.
Is everyone okay?
Yep.
Throw another rock.
Got him. We even have this. Could have a Vile Feast, but we got the Shapestone. And that's 2 in a row, baby! 2 in a row! Top tier decks! Gutting them down, baby!
More often.
Oh, it's just glorious, dude! Man, this is like one of the best videos I've had in a while. Woo! There we go. There we fucking go. MALPHITE. MALPHITE putting in the work, boy. Oh, I couldn't be happier. Let's go for another one. Alright, so easy Draven. This will be an interesting matchup for sure. I have Chip into Rockhopper potential. I'm gonna keep one. I mean, these aren't great cards to have initially, but I like that Preservarium. I do want to play Chip. Maybe I should not rush Chip. Like, if my opponent doesn't do anything turn 1, because there could be a Thermogenic Beam, and that could be a bit of a problem. I don't want to play into Thermal Beam. I don't think that's smart. I do like you, however, Mr. Blue Sentinel, because you
Once I step papers, now faces.
are a unit that my opponent does not want to block.
Safety, disengage.
Would you look at this place?
Doggone, it's so big.
Okay, so no Thermogenic Beam.
Can you improve perfection?
As much as I like this, there's nothing you can do to spawn something at burst speed, so I think Desert Naturalist here makes the most sense.
Katina, you gotta see this new board.
A little busy now, Sammy.
Especially because we have this Shapestone.
What a shame for you! The prettier the rose, the sharper the thorn. Are you quite done,
Champ!
simpleton?
Good stuff. Yeah, we lose the Grumpy Rock Bear, but we're out tempoing the opponent. That's fantastic. I don't need to use my Shapestone to knock out this Ballistic Bot. Like, I'm not, like, I'd rather preserve this for lethal. Like, this +3 power can go a long way, man. He does have a thermal, that's fine.
Oh dear!
Yeah, very slow Ezreal progression. That's what I really like about this deck, man. It's a good mid-range deck. It legitimately is. How many 3 mana plays has he gone for? He's gone for Thorns. He's gone for some Dredger. That's 2. That's 2. I want to make sure I don't run out of gas.
Everything's easier behind a mask.
Can you improve perfection?
I'm not quite there yet, so I don't feel the need to go in just yet. These blue sentinels are great against this matchup. Like that's what I also like about this deck. We have good tools against reactive decks. Like blue sentinel just gives me a solid bot that the opponent doesn't want to remove, and that's such a great feeling. And Chip is just thick, man. He's just thick. He's thick and he's beautiful and adorable. Everything. He's the full package. I don't need to block here. You can block really effectively here. But then again, I'm removing all these. Just gonna tackle these two. I'm gonna play the Salt Spire afterwards. Keep Chip in the back. You're gonna Ravenous Flock him? That's fine. That's completely fine. Trade that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we're ramping next turn, and we're drawing 2 extra cards as well. We're going in. Let's see what we get. Chip is back, boys! I repeat, Chip is back. There's Talia. Beautiful. Look at all that mana. Even MALPHITE as well.
My journey won't end until I'm through weaving. Come on, there's so much to see. Even sand has its uses.
I mean, I see no reason not to. We gotta deny this. Play Chip.
Here I am, there I am.
No, Chip! No! Chip! No! Chip! Motherfucker.
Safety disengaged.
Do we go for the open attack or do we play you? You could have another Tribeam Probulator, and that's a big hit. This open attack is too good.
Inferior design.
There's another Culling Strike. Alright, that's fine.
Humanity is obsolete.
I didn't want to play into a Travian probably later like that. He's running out of gas though. Not only that, like Arachnoid Sentry, I gotta go with open attacks against this archetype. Open attacks are really powerful against Ezreal Draven. Salt Spire should be played on my attack turn, when I have the attack token.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
I found the foundations. There is MALPHITE. I am MALPHITE.
He can't kill me from this point. He's running very low on cards. I know I have Hush, but I feel like I need to gear up for the open attack, like I mentioned. That's a bit redundant.
They don't know what they're up against.
Safety disengaged.
Alright.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
It's too much damage, right? I definitely have to block. But I think that's alright, because next turn I can... I'm gonna block with the Earth Element. He can't kill MALPHITE right now. Even if he has a Ravenous Flock, we survive it because of the Tough. So the Tough actually really coming into play here, as we will be able to get our unstoppable force next turn. Yeah, he's just going face, and we got the ability to hush him to prevent him from killing us that way. We get an extra draw here. Show me the good stuff. Unstoppable force and... Alright, well, we know what to do.
Perfection.
Time for the main event.
No reason not to do this. Got him! Ha ha! Got him, baby! Woo! Nice!
Rock wins. Rock always wins.
Gay, gay.